Hi, everybody. This is Maggie Parsons,
I'm Christian Hale.
and we're that realty duo team with Socius Real Estate in Austin, Texas.
So, in this video, we're going to go through the home buying process from start to finish, and we're going to address several questions that we get from a lot of our home buyer clients, but more specifically, first time home buyers. Now, keep in mind that every real estate transaction is different, but this is a basic outline of what you should expect.
Yeah, so typically the first thing you want to do anytime you try to purchase property is to speak to a lender. They're really the best people to help you navigate the different loan options and let you know what kind of mortgage loans you'll be approved for. And once you go through the approval process with your lender, which is really just filling out an application with some information about yourself and your bank statements, you'll be pre-approved for a loan up to X amount of dollars, which will all be laid out in the pre-approval letter. And it's really important to get this letter because unless you plan to pay all in cash and have the bank statements to back it up, pre-approval letter is going to be required for any offer you submit for a seller to approve your offer and accept it.
Right. Now, if you don't know where to start looking for a lender, our best advice is to ask your realtor. They're going to be your guide throughout the entire home buying process, and every realtor has a fiduciary duty to their clients. And what that means is that they are bound by the law to put your best interests ahead of anything else.
Yeah, and most realtors have lenders that they work with all the time. I know Christian and I have our preferred lender, love working with him. He's been in the business for 30 years. And as far as volume goes, he probably handles more loans than any other lender in Austin, but he's extremely efficient in doing so, which not only makes the process go super smoothly for all of our clients and for us as their realtors, but it also enables him to offer the best rates in town.
Right. Now, of course, you are not required to go with a lender just because they were referred to you by your realtor. So always feel free to shop around for the best rates. And if you do want to shop around, but you're concerned about how that might affect your credit score, just be sure to ask the lender if they run a hard or soft pull whenever they run your pre-approval screening.
And if your realtor does refer a lender to you, we suggest to at least hear them out.
Yeah.
Because it really isn't in your realtor's best interest to recommend a lender if unless they really trust them to do their job and do the best for you as your realtor's client and the client of the lender. Because there are a bunch of different reasons for this, but the two biggest ones is first off, reputation is everything in the real estate business. But it's also illegal for realtors to accept any kind of referral fees or any payment for recommending a lender or contractor to their clients or really doing anything like that.
Yeah. So the next step in the process, if you haven't already done this, is to actually find your realtor. And this can be as easy as searching for one on the internet, but we're just going to assume that you know somebody that's within your circle. You probably have a crazy aunt or a friend from college who's a licensed realtor, or you may have friends that have recently gone through the home buying process themselves, and I'm sure they would love to put you in touch with somebody who has already proven themselves to be a really good agent.
Yeah, actually, in our personal practice, unless it's repeat business, almost all of our clients are referrals, and they come to us by past clients, and it really makes the process a lot more fun, not only for us, but also for our clients, because our clients tend to be a lot more comfortable knowing that someone they know and trust has seen good results with us working on their team.
Right. And one other point to note here is that in a real estate transaction, it's the seller who pays for any realtor fees. So essentially, as a buyer, you get an expert on your team to look out for your best interests, and it's 100% free of charge.
Yeah. And when you first meet with your realtor, they'll go over your wants, your needs, price point, and then, at least for me, the process starts to get a lot more fun because we actually get to start touring and shopping for your new home. Now, the time frame for this step of the process is completely up to you as the buyer. It I mean, sometimes buyers find the right home on the very first day. Sometimes it can take weeks or months.
Right. And another thing to note here, if you've gone out on tour to see some homes before and you didn't just go to an open house, you may have found that this is the point in the process where having a realtor is necessary, if only just to get you through the door. And if you've had this sort of experience before and you were met by somebody who is new to the business, just starting their career, or just maybe they're not experienced very much yet, we totally understand how you might see realtors as just sort of gatekeepers.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, and it's another reason why we really recommend that you ask your group, your network of people to refer a realtor to you, because they'll make the process a lot easier.
Yeah, and just getting from somebody that you trust.
Hmm.
And it really is important to have an experienced realtor on your team during the touring process and not just for getting the keys and doing all the paperwork. An experienced realtor is also going to be able to point out red flags that you might not notice while you're looking at the layout to see how your furniture is going to fit, or like counting the number of bathrooms that you have and stuff like that.
I mean, not only bathrooms and square footage and if your furniture is going to fit, but the experienced realtors can notice a leak in the roof, can notice foundation issues, plumbing issues, just some major things, just to name a few. And they can actually recognize them early on, and that will save you a lot of time and energy and money moving forward.
Yeah, which is really our ultimate goal with anybody that we work with, and it brings us to the next step of the process.
Yeah, so once you find a home that fits all your needs, wants, works with your budget and your time frame, it's time to submit an offer. Now, there is a lot that can go into submitting an offer, including negotiating counter offers and what steps to take if your offer is or isn't accepted. So we'll go all through all of that another time in another video, but for now, let's go with the scenario where your offer is accepted. Yay! So once your offer is accepted by the seller, you as the buyer have 3 days to submit your option period fee and your earnest money.
Now, the option period is a time frame that's agreed upon between the buyer and the seller, and that is when you as the buyer have the option to back out of the deal. Now, if you do need to back out of the deal during this time, you would only lose your option period fee, which is also decided on by the buyer and the seller within the written offer. And normally, in a busy Austin market, it'll come out to like $300 to $500 for anywhere from 5 to 10 days. Now, the earnest money, that's normally about 1% of the total offer price, and it would be refunded to you as the buyer if you decided to back out of the deal during the option period.
Yeah. But if the deal continues past the option period, then the earnest money is deposited into an escrow account by the title company, and it's put towards you as the buyer, your down payment, closing costs, anything like that.
Yeah. Now, during the option period, you as the buyer will hire a home inspector to come out to the house and check for any serious issues. Things that might make you not want to buy the house or would cause the lender not to go through with your mortgage loan. Based on what the inspector finds, and if any major repairs need to be done, you may also need to have a general contractor come out to the home to generate a quote and let you know what the cost of any necessary repairs might be.
Yeah, and this is really important to do because now is the time where negotiations can pick back up. Based on what the inspector finds and the contractor quotes you, there may be an opportunity to get the price reduced or have the sellers pay for part or all of the cost of repairs. And another thing I want to be sure to mention is that getting an appraisal and a survey of the property as soon as possible, which will be ordered by your lender. And these can be done within the option period also, but that's not always been the case with any of my recent transactions just because option periods are normally pretty quick in Austin and it can sometimes take, well, she just wants to come into the video.
Yeah,
it's one of our cats. Anyways, it can take some time to get an appraiser and a surveyor out to the property.
Right. And we can go into the reasons and details some other time, but lenders do require an appraisal and a survey of the property for the property that you want to buy in order to fund your loan. Good news though, for the survey, a lot of times that already exists and you can just use a pre-existing one.
Yeah.
But once the appraisal and the survey have been submitted to your lender and all the negotiations between you and the seller are finalized, thank you, Meanie, your lender and the title company will send everything to the underwriters. And they're the people who go through everything with a fine tooth comb to ensure that the transfer of the home and the property is all on the up and up.
And once everything's on the up and up, last step is closing day. And like every other step in this process, a lot can go into it. Another video for another time. But let's say that closing goes off without a hitch. And on closing day, you will meet with your realtor and a notary, either at the title office or at the property, and sign all the papers, transfer the money into the appropriate accounts, and get your keys.
Yeah. Now, I know this sounds like a lot of information, and that's because it is.
Yeah.
But lucky for you, you don't have to go through it all by yourself.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about buying a home and have any questions, please reach out to somebody in your circle, because they probably know a realtor or a lender who would be more than happy to help you in your journey to home ownership.
Yeah. So if you guys have any other questions, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.